And yesterday, Palmer, a goal for Palmer, as we've discussed, a very important goal for him. Is Palmer and Mullin, you think, is that the right strike force going forward? Is that Wrexham's best strike force?
Well, it's weird. I'm going to be honest with you, because there was no streaming in the National League last year until whatever it was, December. I never got to see Palmer except for the highlights, right? And so Palmer, early part of last season, was on fire, right? He was scoring at a clip that was impressive. And I was like, this Palmer-Mullin combination is the best thing since sliced bread. All of a sudden we get the streaming and Palmer's game coincidentally starts to decline at that same point of time. I haven't seen Palmer at his best. Do we see snapshots of it? Absolutely. Yesterday was an amazing snapshot. That outside the boot right foot flick that was gorgeous. But I look at the roster that we have right now, and if I'm saying best squad on the team, I think you kind of give Fletcher a run. And I know people might end up cursing me and saying that that's unfair. But I think that Mullin and Fletcher is the better option on a go forward. But Palmer is going to have those moments of brilliance. And so you've got to keep him around and probably put him in their fair amount. And how old is Fletcher now? 36?
Something like that, yes, yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know if he's going to be able to get a run out every game.
His quality is exceptional. Is he just a bit, for a player like that to come down, so a club like Wrexham to come down the leagues, it's a massive, massive signing. But as we talked before we started recording about the Luke Armstrong debacle, do we need someone a bit younger and fresher? Because I've always felt we needed another Mullin. If we could find a Mullin somewhere, Langstaff, Tishamanga, who I've always liked, Paddy Matt, someone who can get as many goals as Mullin and be as lethal as Mullin, rather than just chipping in with the odd 8 or 9. We need another 20-plus striker if we really want to go for it. So I don't know is he a bit too old, Fletcher, although he has the quality and the experience.
Well, I definitely think he's a stopgap, and I think if we're looking to be moving up the ladder, we need to find that 24 to 27-year-old striker that's going to fit in the role, learn from Mullin, learn from Palmer and Fletcher while they're there, and get that improvement. Whether that happens in January, whether that happens in the offseason, I'm not certain, because with the group that we have up front now, I'm at least confident enough that we can. If our problem is not with our ability to score goals, and it's not with the guys up front. I mean, Mullin got stopped for the first time on a breakaway I think that I ever saw yesterday, which was shocking. But the quality of play, we've got best strikers in the league. In my eyes, the issue for me is not necessarily personnel. It's just getting the guys together to figure things out in that midfield back line area, right in the center of the park. The wings are fine. The front is fine. The goal is fine. It's just that 5-6 players in the midfield and the center of the back line. And so long-term, yes, we need to have a younger striker. Short-term, I'm not sure we need it right now.
Because I think at the end of last season, it looked like Dalby was going to be the one. He was the one we were kind of relying on to complement Mullin and support Mullin, certainly in the last 10 games or so. And he seems to have lost his sparkle a bit. Bickerstaff started well, early on. He's kind of lost it a bit.
Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, I can't really explain that. It looks like for Parkinson, it is Palmer and Mullin is his first choice. If we can get them to complement each other, use Palmer's height, his strength, and just Mullin's work rate and overall ability to get stuck in, to drift about, to read the game well, if they can somehow get that combination to gel.
Yeah. It's tough for me, because when I end up looking at players, I end up looking, okay, what's their top end going to be and where are they going to be? Bickerstaff, Dalby at their best. What do we think that they are? Capable League One strikers? Is that what they are at their best? Certainly serviceable, certainly an exceptional talent. It's not easy to be a capable striker at League One if that's where you think their top end is. And I think for both of them, that's where I put them for different reasons. I think for us, if we're in League Two and we're looking to climb the ladder and you've got Mullin and Fletcher that are there, you're looking to bring somebody in that has the capacity, who's not there yet, but whose top end is, capable championship or even exceptional championship level quality. Right. And that's where you're looking for the next 2, 3, 4 year plan. Do I think that Dalby and Bickerstaff have that in them? not personally, and I hope I'm wrong. But then that's not to say they're not exceptional footballers. That's not to say that they're not amazing for Wrexham. That's just to say, you want to be able to find people to plug holes to climb. And they certainly have a role, and they certainly are impressive players. But do I think we can get somebody in, or need somebody, in the summer that might bump us up to that next level? Yeah. And so that's how I approach it anyway, right or wrong.
But obviously with Elliot Lee, they do have options for goals. And especially the defenders as well. Hayden scores a lot of goals. Boyle has scored a lot of goals. So we do have options in terms of goals. It's just that prolific, that striker who can match Mullin somehow.
Yep. And I almost think that you've got Mullin, and I know that Parkey likes to have his big guy and then Mullin is his small guy, but I don't consider Mullin to be a tiny person. And he's a bulldog on the ball, and he creates a lot of turnovers. I almost wouldn't mind seeing somebody like a poacher. And the best one that I can think of is a Canadian international, Jonathan David. He's not going to come to Wrexham. I'm not saying that, but a player like that, who is just exceptional with loose ball in the box and finding things. You've got the mountains for the crosses in Boyle and Hayden, but who's able to pick things up in the scramble and just seems to be in the right place. A young, quick poacher who can then serve ball and kind of work with Lee in that dynamic. That would be exciting to me to see as well. I don't know all the characters that are out there. I don't know. It's tough enough to get caught up on all the players in League Two. Forget about who's around for transfers and opportunities. But I do see an opportunity for somebody to step into Wrexham January or in the summer that's just another level up.